I got asked a question recently. Someone said, Chris, what is the meaning of life? And I had to sit there and ponder a little bit. Oh, firstly, hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's a solo episode today. And firstly, you're going to watch the sunset while we're sitting here on Malibu on the mountain. And I hope you guys really enjoy and appreciate the set. I'm amazed. I'm in an interesting state being up here. It's a lot calmer than the chaos. It's so beautiful. And yeah, so enjoy the sunset and enjoy some deep dive conversation with me today. I got a few things that I've been pondering on, and yeah, we're just going to have a chat back and forth. But someone asked me what the meaning of life was. And I sat there and thought about my response. And the conclusion I came to was life itself, it has no meaning. Life is an opportunity to create meaning. Think about it. If all of the things that you have in your life right now were given to you, would they mean as much? If you didn't have to embark on a really unknown, uncertain, challenging path to achieve the things that you have in your life, do you think they would hold as much meaning? They probably wouldn't. So that there implies that life itself, it has no meaning. Life is just an opportunity to create meaning. And the sad part about that is I see so many people go through life. In fact, most people go through life and they never even amount to anything. They never really strive for any meaning in their life. They feel like things should just get handed to them on a platter. Or perhaps it shouldn't be hard to achieve the thing, but that's like wanting a lie. Wanting all of the things that you dream of, but then wanting to have a smooth sail is kidding yourself. And meaning in itself is so subjective. We don't actually really have a black and white answer for that. I feel like it's unique for everyone, but I think what it strips down to is this aligned with our true self? Is the soul leading the way? Is the person that is our best self, our higher self, the person that gravitates everyone around us, the person that attracts all the things that we want in our life, is it evolving around that? Because I think if it is, we're on the right track. I don't think we're ever going to have a crystal clear understanding of what our true meaning really what our true meaning really is. But at least we can have some sort of compass that points us in the right direction, that makes us strive towards something that we think it might be. You know, for me, when I look back at my life and I reflect on the last few years, more specifically, like it hasn't always been like this. It really hasn't. In fact, a few years ago, I literally had nothing. I had no career. I had no money. My girlfriend had just broken up with me. I had no idea what I was going to do. I'd started a couple of businesses. I'd had investors on board. I had to walk into boardrooms and tell them that we're hanging up the boots. It's time to go. We've failed. We've lost all your money. I've had all of those experiences, but they've all left me in this state of like, what's next? Because this clearly didn't work. This wasn't the thing. I never really had something that worked. I spent so many years of my life trying and not getting any licks of the ice cream. And there were many moments where I didn't even know if I was ever going to get the ice cream to eat because it didn't look likely. I kept trying and then I kept failing. And all the people kept saying, I told you so. And they were right. They did tell me so. But now, you know, when I've got this massive show and I am lit up by my life and the things that I'm doing, and I get excited about getting out of bed in the morning because I would rather try and delegate my sleep or not do something else than do the thing that I get to do every day, which is this work, recording, making the show, making the impact. When I had that one thing 2 years ago of starting a podcast, Do you think the people just changed their mind on all my other things and was like, yeah, okay, all the other ones were bad, but this one's a great idea? No, they didn't believe in it. And rightly so. You can't expect them to believe in your dream and your goal because they've probably got their own. Or maybe they don't even have their own goals and they are definitely not going to believe in yours if they don't even have a version of their own. They're just missionless. So whether it's their mission or your mission, they're not going to understand it. And so you have to have that trust, that thing that feels right in the moment is going to work. You're going to have the trust that whether you embark on the journey and it works or it doesn't, you're still grateful that you embarked on the journey and you took those steps. And for me, 2 years ago, I was doing that. I was, leaving one thing behind and starting something new. This podcast thing that's called The Pocket, and no one even knows what that means. I made it. I thought of the name while I was on MDMA on New Year's at a festival. And I thought of it, and then I woke up the next morning and I was like, that's my podcast name. and I seem to have this little vision, and then next minute I'm in Malibu watching a sunset and filming a podcast. I'll pan to the wide angle over there that shows me setting all of this up. It's just me, and there's no one else here. There's no team. It's just me, and but the crazy thing about all of that is when I started, it was just me, and right now it's just me. And yeah, I've got some team and people helping me with, editing, and I've got a manager that might help bring me some brand deals, but I'm not really doing anything with that at the moment. I had an assistant and I've had help along the way, but at the end of the day, it's for the most part just been me. Whether it's in a little studio apartment or whether it's overlooking Malibu, it's me. And there's something about that is so special. The fact that I can feel so calm and complete with just me. I don't feel like I need people, and I can sit alone, and I don't need to blast music all the time. I can just sit and think and feel and see where my mind goes. And I'm grateful that I'm able to do that, because there's certainly times where I couldn't, and I couldn't think. I couldn't walk without calling someone. I couldn't be alone. And I think the last couple of years, starting this show, building this show, having friends come and go, it's really taught me to be okay with me and be proud of me and be comfortable with me and nothing else. And I think that's something that I'm really proud of. And I guess it's something that's important to throw onto you guys listening to this or watching this right now and experiencing what I'm experiencing right now in Malibu, but you guys are seeing it through a few screens. What is holding you back? Why haven't you embarked on that journey that you've got in your mind that you want to do? What is the thing that is holding you back? Because I know that there's so much more in you, and it's not about just this macho energy of go, 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 and constantly chase the next thing. It's not about that. What it's about is that you're probably doing things in your life right now that you do not want to do. They're red light tasks. They're things that just drain you. And if someone could come with a wand and say, I will take all of those away from you so you can focus on all the things that you love, would you say yes? You probably would. Now, the reality is you can do that for yourself. You can do all the things that you want in your life, but you just seem to get in your own way. It's the most common thing when I speak to people, is that they are struggling to take the leap. They're struggling to bet on themselves. They're struggling to commit to themselves. It's actually not even about the other people. It's about them. It's about what they're going to feel people are going to think about them. It's not even about the other people. It's about themselves. They're getting in their own way. And so I want to ask you, what is that thing? And ponder on that. Maybe even like shut your eyes and just imagine the life that you could truly have if you went all in on you. What would that life look like? Now, take it that step deeper. What is the car that you want to drive? Where do you want to live? What do you want? Do you want family? Do you want children? What school do they want to go to? What's the dream body you want to have? What in your life do you want to do? Do you want to swim in the ocean in the morning when the sun is rising? Do you want to live in the mountain like up here in Malibu? What do you want? And get clear on that. And then take it one step deeper and get even clearer. And I think when you can truly imagine how amazing that life would be, it will not matter how much shit you need to go through on the journey to getting there. You will keep going because the journey's tough. It's uncertain. It's unclear. It's unknown. And that's the best part. Remember, there's no rainbows with no rain. So when the rain comes, understand that what's on the other side of it? Rainbows, big ones, bright ones. Amazing ones. And those rainbows, they're your dreams. That's the life that you really want, not the one that you're just fitting into now. You're a triangle trying to fit into a square, and then you're wondering why you're not happy. And I've had moments in my life where I've been that triangle trying to shove myself into a square, and then I wonder why I'm not fulfilled. And you might feel the same. But like, think about it for a second. Like, just get some common sense and like kick it into yourself. Like, just punch yourself with a bag full of common sense and go, do I really think if I continue this life that I'm living, that's not for me, I'm going to live a life filled with fulfillment? like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I know a lot of you guys listening to this right now are not the people I'm describing, because that's why you're listening to this podcast. You want to better yourself. You're hungry. You're driven. You prioritize self-improvement over just mindless consumption. That's why you're listening to this. That's why you're even tuning in right now. So I'm not saying that you are this person that's just living a life that's not for you. But what I know is, because even in my life right now, I have some. What I do know is that there's things in my life that do not serve me. And the sooner we get them out, we free up space to invite things in that do serve us. And that is the freeing thing. That's what at the end of the day, when we think about like our life in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years time, and when we think about that and we get a smile, eliminating all of the things that don't serve us is what's going to unlock that smile. And so don't get 30 years down the line and think that you're going to live a life of fulfillment if right now you're not doing things that are progressing you to a life filled with fulfillment. I've wrote some other stuff down here, and one of the ones is, look at the sunset. How the fuck did I get here? Are you kidding me right now? How the fuck did I get here? This is Malibu right now. I'm just a kid from a small town in Queensland of Australia called Airlie Beach. Now, anyone that's American that's listening to this right now, you probably thought I just said a bunch of gibberish. Airlie Beach, a tiny little town in Queensland, north of Australia. I need you to understand this because I think this is going to give you enough context to realize that anything really is possible. And not only it's possible, but you can achieve it far quicker than you can ever imagine. For me, I'm going to give you a little bit of a timeline, right? My parents, thank God, my amazing mum and dad, took me out of Airlie Beach when I was 12 years old. I was 12 and I remember it was the worst thing that could have happened to me. I was so sad that they were taking me away from my friends, my hometown, and I was moving to a place called the Gold Coast just to what, Dad? Like what, Mum? Like why are we moving there? I don't want to move there. I want to I want to stay with my best friend Harry, and I want to do this. And they knew something that I didn't know back then. They knew that there was no progress there in that small town. I needed to think bigger. I needed to break out of that mold. And it's funny. We leave, we drive, we pack up our old van and we drive from Queensland, from North Queensland and Airlie Beach down to the Gold Coast. It's about a 13-hour drive. We had 3 flat tires along the way. We had a few stops at the mechanics. It wasn't a smooth sailing drive, but then I remember we drove down and we saw the sign Surfer's Paradise. And I thought that was the thing. I was like, Surfer's Paradise? Are we going to be able to surf there? And then Dad quickly warned me that Surfer's Paradise is actually not the nicest place. For anyone that's got their eyes set on the Gold Coast, just do me a favor and do yourself a favor. Just don't go to Surfer's Paradise. But anyway, we see the sign and we drive a little bit further and we turn off on exit 69, I believe it was, and going into Ashmore. They call it Trashmore at times, but that's where we moved, a suburb in the Gold Coast. And while looking back at it, that's such a small town comparatively to where I am right now. But we moved there, and as we're driving up the hill to the house that we were moving into that my dad was renovating, I see this massive football stadium, Metricon Stadium. And I remember I freaked out. I was a massive football fan, an Australian football fan. And I just freaked out. I was like, there's no way we live right next to a stadium. And when I look at that stadium now, I think that's a small stadium. And honestly, my eyes won't even raise the slightest when I think about that stadium. It's probably one of the worst football stadiums that there is in the whole country of Australia. But what I'm sharing here is the comparison of how much my mind opened when I moved to a new place. I was in a small town, then I moved to another town that was quite small, but it was bigger than the one before. And what happened to me then was my mind was completely open to what else is out there. And it gave me this excitement to go and see what else is out there. And too many people are in that small town and they grow up there and their parents never take them out of that town. And then they stay there and then they think about the jobs and the careers that they can have, but they're only thinking in the lens of the small town that they're in. When in reality, there might be 2 jobs available for you at that town. But if you move into a different town that's bigger, there might be 100 jobs. And so if you're in the lens of the small town, you're almost guaranteed to find a job that fits for the small town. And when you break free from that, your mind gets opened. And it's one of those things where once your peripherals open, you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so, for me, I just look at this and I go, how the fuck did I end up here? I don't really know. But what I do know is that I just took steps in the dark. I was curious enough and I had enough trust in myself to go, mate, what's the point otherwise? You may as well try something out, have a crack. You may as well just maybe see what's on the other side of the fence, because right now you're in black and white, and what you might find is if you jump over that fence, you'll see some color. You may as well just see what else is out there. And if you're listening to this and you're in a small town and you don't fully love your life, the first step is getting the fuck out of that town. Not because the town is bad, but it's because it's enclosing your mind into what's possible. And for me, when I look at my journey, it's this constant state of opening and expanding my peripherals to the point where I go, holy shit, the more I see, the less I know. And there's something liberating about that. There's something liberating about having like zero idea on life. And like, look, I might know a lot more than some, but in comparison to what else is out there, I'm such a little speckle in this earth. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I might know more than some, but I don't actually really know. I'm navigating through all this life just like you are, just like everyone is. And so like for me, I just go that the emphasis here is how can I expand my consciousness, expand my awareness to the point where I feel like I'm not big and I am small, because when I'm small and insignificant, I don't really have any ego. I don't put myself on a pedestal, and I'm able to be more of a sponge to soak in what else is around me. And that's how I got here. 2 years ago when I had this idea of my show and I launched it, and the first episode gets like 60 downloads or 70 downloads or something in the first couple of weeks, like it was humbling, right? And like, to think that was in February of 2024, it's now October of 2025. So I'm talking like a little bit over 18 months, like not not a crazy amount when I started this show. And, with having hundreds of thousands of you guys tuning in every single month, watching the show, listening to the show, sharing it, liking it, it's unlocked this whole life for me that like is so fruitful. Like I'm in the fucking Malibu mountains. And sorry if I say this all the time, like I'm from a small town with nothing. Like, this is not something that, like, my family are watching this right now. They know that this is not normal. This is not like, this shouldn't be what it is. My dad might come in and he might be like, yeah, it is what it is. It's actually meant to be here. You were destined for this. And I'm forever grateful for my mum and my dad's belief in me, especially over the last couple of years. I'm so grateful for their support. They're my biggest fans. But like this shouldn't be the case. It's a very different life than anyone in my family. And I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just so different. Like it's no better. It's no worse than anyone else. It's just different. But more importantly, it's so aligned and it's so true with what I set out to do and with what I want for my life. Like it's so aligned to the point where like I literally, like, no word of a lie, I like randomly, maybe like 4 times a day, just start jumping up and down and screaming like of excitement right now. I'm not even making that up. Like it's literally this thing in me that just like, I just feel so, everything just feels so right. It like, yeah, it really does. And I think you need to have a comparison of what wasn't right for you to realize what is right. Like you can't truly understand if something feels right if you haven't been in a spot where something feels really bad. For me, I had so many moments where I didn't want to get out of bed and I was doing something for someone else that I didn't want to do, and it ate me up every single day. And those are the moments that I lean on when I'm in the highs like this, when I'm at Malibu recording in front of a bunch of really expensive cameras and lights, something that I could have always dreamt of as the sun is setting behind me, overlooking the water in Malibu in California, in America. Like, those are the moments, the hard times that felt so wrong. They felt cruel. It felt like I was in a prison, in a cage. Those moments are what I lean on right now to make these moments feel so great. Because if it wasn't for them, none of this would be valuable. It would just be a thing. It would just be normal. Just like as I said at the start, life itself, it has no meaning. Life is an opportunity to create meaning. So go and create some meaning and see what's on the other side of that. Like, the final thing I'll just add on that is just, what's the point if you don't? What is the fucking point if you are not willing to take a risk and have a crack at life, chase those dreams that you've always wanted to do? Like what is the point? And that's not a question for me to answer for you. That's a question for you to answer for you. That's something that you need to truly ponder on and get to the bottom of. Like your primary mission on this earth should be to find that. Disregard everything else, because everything else won't thrive as much as it will if you are crystal clear on why you're here and what you really want to do and what will really light you up in your life. Your relationships will suffer if you don't have that. Your fulfillment will extremely suffer if you don't have that. Your connection to anything in your life will suffer if you don't know what to do. It's not about like knowing every step of the way. It's about knowing what lights your soul up. It's about knowing what deep down inside of you aligns with what you're doing. Like you truly feel something inside, and then you have thoughts that are on your team. They're not against you. So you truly align with what's deep down. Your thoughts are reinforcing that identity and that soul of what you truly want. And then those thoughts come out into life, and you speak your thoughts. You shorten the gap between your thoughts. You shorten the gap between your thoughts and what you say. Be more authentic. And without knowing deep down what that soul wants, how the fuck are you supposed to be authentic? And for that, I think we read some poems. Recently, I've been writing some poems. You know, I like writing poems, and the reason I do, I think, I've reflected on it a little bit, but the reason I like writing poems is because I was a horrible writer at school. I just got the girls to do my assignments for me. I actually like, I wasn't even in normal English. I was in the English that all the special ed people were in. Like I was in the special needs English class. Like that's how like not good at reading, at writing, at anything to do with English. Like I was not good at that. And I know people can find that hard to believe right now when this is what I do for a living. I talk and I communicate. But I literally could not write a fucking sentence. Even right now, like my spelling's off. I make mistakes from time to time. But like, yeah, so I think a reason why I like poems is because of that. Like it's because I wasn't good and now I'm okay. And so I've got 2 poems here, and I'm just going to read them and just see where my mind goes. These are the 2 last poems that I've wrote. And so I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to read you the poem, and then I'm just going to elaborate my thoughts on the poem. So let's dive in. Poem 1. Tunnel vision. Momentum building. Fog is clearing. I don't see a ceiling. Long days, short nights, sleeping, little passion lots. It's meant to be. At least for now. Anyway. Is it easy? No. Is that the point? Yes. Do I take the risk? No brainer. Do I play it safe? Would rather die. Let's sprint another day or 20, because gaining momentum won't make you win, but keeping it, that's a different story. You'll be like a Ferrari in a race full of Toyotas, and no shade to Toyotas, but they're all going to get smoked. You see, Be that fucking Ferrari, man. Like fly past those Toyotas. And when you do that, you feel unstoppable, dude. You feel like no one can stop you. And that is the most freeing feeling ever. Look, I might be naive to think that I feel unstoppable. And for the last few months, I've been holding off saying I feel unstoppable because I hadn't experienced loved ones pass away, touch wood. I hadn't experienced extreme traumas, touch wood. But right now, in this moment, with the experience that I've had, I can truly say I feel unstoppable. I feel like the Ferrari against a bunch of Toyotas. No one can stop me. I feel so crystal clear. I feel so focused. I feel so aligned. And I don't feel like anyone can stop me. I'm shortening the gap between my thoughts and what I say. I'm being authentic. I feel like the truest version of Chris Griffin, not the fat guy from Family Guy, but the one sitting in this chair right now. I feel the truest version of him is showing up every single day right now, and I am fucking pleased about it. And a byproduct of all of that is that I feel unfucking stoppable. I'm the Ferrari. I don't feel like anyone in the world is doing what I'm doing. One of the realizations that I had on this podcast tour is I was about 7 weeks in. I was questioning my whole fucking life. I was going around from place to place, carrying all these suitcases in the heat, and it was sweaty, and I was alone, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was struggling, and my back was against the wall, and it was extremely uncomfortable. I was questioning all of it. I could have easily just kept cruising through town and in Australia. And why did I decide to just fuck around and move around to the other side of the world and hop on all these different states and interview these people and get rejected and get left on scene and no one responds to me? I was questioning it all. And then I did this massive production in London, in Londonistan. And I got to the end of the production and I sat there. I was sitting on the podcast table and it all hit me. I was like, fuck, this all makes sense. Like back then I had no momentum. No one was like caring about me. Like Hunter McIntyre, who owns this house that I'm at right now, the High Rocks World Champion, he said to me in the Gold Coast in Australia earlier this year, he's like, dude, you're the big dog here. People respect you. You kind of get what you want, but you're going to move to America and you're going to be humble. No one's going to give a fuck about you. You're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole and you're going to have to work your way back up and gain some respect. And I was there, like back here on my high horse, like, yeah, mate, appreciate you. Yeah. Fuck, he was so right. He couldn't have been more right. No one gave a fuck about me. And so I had to build my way back up. And I was in London after finishing this set. I recorded with Robin Sharma, one of the biggest authors in the world. We had some insane people coming to the studio. We built this massive production that like just took the show to the next level. You guys have seen the productions ever since those London sets. They have gone to the next notch, right? They unlocked a new standard for me, and now I want to meet that standard every time. And I was sat there and I went, it all makes sense. You see, there's the big dogs. There's the guys that are leading the pack. And then there's the small dogs. And there's the guys that are kind of just trying to make it, right? And they're the two categories that you can be in. Now, the thing is about the big dogs have their own lane. They are leading their lane and they're fucking good at it. And the problem is the small dogs, they just try and copy the big dogs, but they will forever be in the big dog shadows because they don't have the resources, the competency and the know-how and the experience to be able to get to the level of the big dogs. So they get some level of success, but they will never achieve the level of the greats. But I'm sat here going, okay, well, I want to build the biggest show in the world, so I want to be one of the greats. So if that's the model right now, I can't play that game and be the best. So I think it's time we shift gears. And the realization in London was that I can't beat them at their game. So in order for me to win, I just need to create my own game. I just need to do something that no one is doing, and then I can create my own lane. And when I create my own lane, then I've got no traffic. I can just glide through as fast as I want because I stand out. I've created something that keeps building. And for me, I was like, okay, well, how do I do that? You know, what do the big guys have that the small guys don't have? And what do the small guys not have? And why are they never going to win? And even on top of that, what do the small guys have that the big guys don't? And then when we do this assessment, we realize, okay, the big guys, what they have, they got resources. They got money. They got money. They have credibility. They have momentum. But what they also have is they have their path. And because they're winning at it, there's no signs of changing gears. They're not going to hop onto a new ship. They're going to keep building their own. And then that brings me down to the small guys. What do they have? They got no money, no resources. They're not competent at what they're doing. But what do they have? They don't have a path, which means they can hop around. They can be nimble. They're an underdog. They can always crush a Goliath if they can find the cracks in the castle of the big guys and then apply that to your own lane and create a new lane. And for me, I went, okay, how about I make a boatload of money so then I can experiment a boatload of things that is not what the big dogs are doing, so I can create my own lane. And then when I find that lane and people start to like it, let's turn the gas on, put the foot to the floor, and let's fucking flow. And the biggest rule in business is don't lose momentum. So once you gain it, fucking go. Drop everything else and go all in. And I realized that in London. And if you look at the growth from London to now, there's double of you guys tuning in. Since London to now, the show has doubled on the audio platforms. People are tuning in all around the world. My American show, my American audience has skyrocketed. I think the audience in the last 30 days is like 45% American, which before it was 15% American. And so like what I'm getting at here is it took 7 weeks of uncertainty and no idea what the fuck I was doing, questioning my life basically every day. And then I sat there after a massive week and I was exhausted. Not exhausted in the sense of like mentally exhausted. I was mentally enlightened, but I was physically exhausted. And that's a good place to be because it's not a, it's a, and that's how I felt. We just flew for the last month. We're just going for it and we're not stopping anywhere soon. All of the messages that I reached out to 6 months ago that they never responded, all of a sudden I'm getting random responses 5-6 months later from people saying yes. It's like momentum's building. Let's hone in on that. Let's not lose it because that will kill everything. But on that note, let's go to the next poem. See, this poem... This one says, are you on the right path? Well, let's find out. Are you on the right path? Is a question I ask myself time and time again. I don't know why it keeps coming up, probably because I can get caught in my head from time to time, stressed that things aren't going to plan, having the most amount of attention I've ever had in my whole life, yet feeling the loneliest I've ever been. I know it's not what you expected given how crazy my life may seem, but that's the thing about social media. It's a highlight reel, a powerful way to inspire and share your lessons, yet a way to make you master certain challenges you're actually going through. It's a double-ended sword, a place that does so much good for the world, yet can also be so taxing on your mind, your soul. But I guess in life, you have to choose your poison. A poison that does good for the world or one that does bad, a life filled with lessons, some are happy, some are sad. So that's why I question whether I'm on the right path, whether going through all this pain is even worth it. I guess time will tell. I guess time will tell. Surely I'm not alone there. Surely I don't be so alone that questions our path. I still do it today. You know, I'm more clear of it now, and I have trust that whether it's good or bad, it's meant to be. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't question it. I feel like that's normal. I feel like questioning the path makes the goal more valuable. Because without question, it means that there might not be any uncertainty. And the uncertainty, as we know, makes things more special, makes things more worthwhile, makes things more meaningful. So, questioning the path that we are on is one of the main price tags to achieving the life that you truly want to live. If you don't question, maybe you're not taking enough risk. If you don't question, maybe you're not pushing the boundaries a little bit to see what's on the other side, to see if the boundary that you have in your life is actually a boundary that you have in your life. Or is it just a made-up one in your head, an imaginary ceiling, one that you think is a boundary, but in reality, it's just holding you back. It's clogging the path. You know, you've got some fat sloth lying down and you got to hurdle over him, but instead you just decide to pull up a chair and wait for him to wake up. Maybe those imaginary ceilings in your life is like that fat sloth that you're not willing to jump over or beat down. You're just sitting there waiting. And come to find out that you get 6 months down the line, 10 months down the line, 2 years down the line, a decade down the line. And what you realize is that sloth wasn't sleeping. It's dead. And it's not moving. So until you beat that thing down or get on a ladder and jump over it, or, you know, have some spring in your step and at least try jump over it, until you do that, you're forever going to be stuck behind that sloth. So how many of these sloths, these imaginary sloths, do you have in your life? How many of these things are just holding you back, that are clogging the path? And it's actually not clogging your path. It's just your mind tricking you that it's clogging your path. I think we all have a few, me included. I think we owe it to ourselves to see if we do at least. And we owe it to ourselves to constantly review and check in just to see if any more have laid down or pulled up a chair. Because life's not smooth sailing. Life has its ups and downs, which is the best part. But thinking that normal is normal and thinking that everything is the way it is just because it's the way it is, it's quite limiting. I think it's holding you back. I think it holds a lot of us back. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. I think it makes us feel like there is more for us and a better version of ourselves on the other side of some sort of pain, but we got some sloth line in front of that pain. And we just think that it's a ceiling when it's actually not. The sooner we clear them, the less hurdles we have to overcome. Or even, better yet, we can embark on the journey and hope for more hurdles, because the more pain we go through, the stronger we're going to be. How about we find one more poem, and then maybe, just maybe, that can conclude us for today. What do you guys think? Just before I find this poem, what I want to ask you, if you're still tuning in, is if you're listening to this or watching this on Spotify, the sun is now well and truly set. We got the wind blowing. It's picked up last minute here. We're in the dark. And I'm fucking pleased about it because, you know, we got to watch that all together, which is great. And I hope that the scenery elevated the message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up one more poem, another one that I've wrote recently. And then off the back of that, we'll see where it takes us. This poem I wrote on the 24th of September, and I wrote it right here. I was in Malibu. I was sitting on that couch just inside there. I just watched the sun rise in the morning, and there's a photo of me sitting on a chair right here, watching the sun rise just over there. You might be able to see the city lights. That's all of Los Angeles back there. Yeah, it's quite spectacular here, but let's read this one. Lonely nights, I question lots. For me, I had trust in connecting the dots. Plenty of doubt my path wasn't clear, but I wanted to be proud of the man in the mirror. Days I tripped and more I fell. It was hard, it sucked, I would scream and yell. Then I started to see light, it got blinding bright. There was a battle between my mind and sight. I couldn't believe it, I never thought the day would come, but it did, and it stayed. Finally, I could lay in the sun. Now this is my life, it's a dream in the present. There is no need to escape, for where I am is great. Right here, right now, to who gave me this life, may you take a bow. You see, that's a common come-up story where you go through the hard time and then you make it out the dark tunnel and you're in the light and you can't believe you made it because you didn't know if this day would ever come. And that was me, sitting right here. Just like, holy fuck, it happened, dude. Like, holy fuck. Like, dude, we made it. Because, fuck, man, like, it was fucking hard and lonely. I questioned lots, and for me, I just had to have trust in connecting the dots. Sleepless nights, many times I fell, had to get back up by myself. No one was watching, and no one cared, and rightly so, because they were too busy focused on their own life like they should. But I kept going, man, and even though I didn't know, I still took steps. And even though everyone doubted, even though I doubted, even though everything that I wanted felt so out of reach, when I was in the darkest of times, and all I was trying to figure out was how to pay rent that was 2 weeks overdue or 1 month overdue, or how to just get through this gym session because all I want to do is cry because I'm heartbroken. Even in those moments, I had to have trust that would make it here. And here wasn't exactly Malibu. You know, in fact, for me, in those dark times, it had nothing to do with the fancy life and the cars and the house and the view. It was just to be able to have a breath, to be able to just go, fuck, I can get through another week. That's all I wanted. And even that seemed out of reach. It felt like I was trying to climb out of a hole, but at the same time, I was digging it deeper. Like I wanted to get out, but instead of fucking climbing, I was digging the hole deeper. And that was my life. And it wasn't intentional until I realized I got another foot deeper. And again, and again. Into the negatives in so many areas of my life. It wasn't till I got so low where I went, fuck. I don't even give a fuck about the holidays and the fancy cars and the views and none of that shit. I just want to eat healthy and not worry about my rent being paid. I don't care about anything else. And it took me getting to that point till I could finally have bigger goals and be tied to things that I could actually strive towards as opposed to just surviving. And like, we fucking did it. And if you're going through a time where you haven't yet got that lick of the ice cream, you haven't yet reached that point in your life where you can finally sit back, take a deep breath and just go, it was all worth it. If you have not yet got there yet, trust me, it is coming. And it can happen so much quicker than you ever could imagine. And if it doesn't happen quick, don't worry. Trust the process, because the longer it takes, the more valuable and the more bright the light will be on the other side. It may seem hard in the moment, but when you get there, you'll just be proud that you didn't stop. And you'll be proud that all of those times where no one believed in you, you still tried. You gave it your all. And that's all that really matters. To be able to get to the end of whatever you're doing, whether you failed or succeeded, you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did my best. I tried. And for that, I'm proud. And that's all we can really ask for. So what's next? Now that I, have got so many things that I wanted, what's next in my life that maybe I feel like I'm missing? I would like to not be alone for much longer. While I'm so comfortable being alone, I'm not sure how healthy that is. I think I want like a life partner. I want to find my wife. I want to find someone to do life with. And I think that that's the next step. And I feel like anyone that doesn't have that in their goals and in their desires, there's some work that needs to be done. Because life without connection is one that's extremely shallow. And then life without deep, romantic, loving connection is one that's shallow. It's all shallow. It's selfish. Like you're doing everything for you when you don't have someone else in your life. And I just don't think that that's fulfilling. And so while so much of my drive is so I can attract that dream partner and I can provide for her and look after my children that we have together, while that's such a big drive for me to look after my current family and my future family, an end goal doesn't feel right without that person and that family. And I think that's my next step. I'm not rushing it. I'm not looking for it. But I think what would be awesome is to have someone there to share all of these experiences with. Also to have someone that can experience hard times with me. So that we can have comparison points and memory dividends together. So that we can be up here and laugh and smile because we haven't always been up here. I think I think the quality of connection you have with someone comes down to the polarity of experiences that you've had. So the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, your deepest connections have probably experienced loads of these and loads of these. Because I don't think it's about just experiencing the highs. It's about being able to experience low lows and extreme highs. And the further that polarity is, I think the stronger your connection is. The more long-lasting that connection is, the more it stays true. Would you agree? I don't know. I think that's the case for me. That's what I've thought about, because I just think that sharing a comparison and a polarity of experience makes both of these experiences a certain way. And without that, it just becomes normal. And so, yeah, I think the sooner I can find someone in my life, the more that they can experience the come up, which means that we can have comparison points on life. I actually think that's why people that gains notoriety and get in the public eye can oftentimes date people that they knew before they had any of the fame, because that person has a comparison point. They've known you for who you are. I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I basically rambled for however long we've been going for. I don't know, like 50 minutes or something. If you like this style and you're on Spotify or YouTube, drop a comment down below to let me know you made it to the end, and just to let me know that you enjoy this style. I don't do a lot of these, and I really hope that it rung through today, that I spoke from my heart and my soul, and like I meant everything I said, because I truly did. And I think if you guys did enjoy that, please drop a comment. It means the world. If you haven't yet subscribed on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, or on Spotify, please follow and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple. It really does help the show grow more than you know, and it keeps helping us get amazing guests back on the show, because that's the resume. That's what they look at. And so subscribe, share it with your friends, leave us a review on Spotify, and yeah, screenshot this one as well. If you did really enjoy it and you want to share it with your audience, tag me on your social media pages to let me know you made it to the end, and I'll just personally thank you. And yeah, it means a lot for you guys listening this far into a solo episode. I can't thank you enough. So thank you guys so much for signing out for this episode, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.